Hey y'all,
Hey everybody.
welcome to night. Oh, you know what we don't do?
What?
I noticed we don't. Let me fix my camera, get the people out of my business. I noticed we don't do this. When me and Bishop were in there, we would do the. We don't do that.
I missed new members orientation.
That's all right. We have to come up with our own closing.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, we want to welcome you to another night of Nightcap.
Welcome.
I just appreciate you so much, Dr. Walker.
Dr. Sharice, I am honored. Let me say this publicly. I am honored to have a friend in you, honestly.
You have a friend in me.
Yeah.
That's a
If
good
you threw a
segue.
party.
That's a good segue.
Invited
That's a good segue.
everybody, everyone you knew. You would
Yeah.
see the
How was your
biggest-
week?
It's been a week. Everything is running together, but I live in chaos. And so I like to call it controlled chaos. And so it keeps me out of trouble. And for that, we give God praise.
Amen. You see my head? Yeah, not in trouble. Listen, yeah.
How are you?
Oh, y'all see my hair? It's like all over the
Your
place.
hair's fine, man. Come on.
Wow. So my week has been emotional. The 24th was my mom's birthday. And what would have been her 60th birthday if she was
60.
living.
I saw
Yeah. So it just kind of hit me, So I was emotional, y'all. I had a little emotional moment.
I tell you this all the time. Having never met your mom, I am almost certain. And I'm not no kind of medium or anything like that, where I'm not talking from heaven in her voice. I am almost certain that she is extremely proud of you. I normally would text you on the anniversary of her transition. I didn't have her birthday committed, but she's absolutely proud of you. You've done an amazing job. To be a young, black, educated woman, and I say this all the time, with a Farm D and a JD. You're a triple threat, and you're a woman of God. Man, come on.
So, y'all, that was my week. And then, I was waiting on God to do something, and that pulled through. Didn't pull through like I anticipated, but God is still good. He sits on the throne. And here we are with another nightcap. And listen, y'all, we're talking about friends.
So, tag your friends. Tag your besties.
As a matter of fact, let me tag my best friends. They should already be on here.
Tag your friends. Tag the people you used to be friends with and say, this is why we ain't friends no more. Tag the people you want to be friends with. It's going to be a good conversation. We are really going to dig in and talk about friendships tonight.
We are. So listen, tonight we're going to talk about several different aspects of friendship. And godly friendships. I think the biggest mistake that I'm gonna speak from a woman's perspective. Women have this. I don't deal with women. I don't hang around women kind of perspective, and really miss out on an opportunity for growth and camaraderie and confidence, because we just really I don't know why initially we feel connecting with other women is drama, but it's really not, especially when it's God ordained. And oftentimes we don't take the opportunity to really seek the purpose in the friendship. We get attached to the idea of who the person is and what they're doing in our lives at that time, because there's a need. We have friends based on needs, right? There's a need in our life, so they come in and they become our friend because they meet a need. But we have not defined the purpose. If they're an assignment, seasonal, and of course, you may not know that if they're seasonal or not, but eventually you will. And we become loyal to a fault. So there are some people that are friends that have been in our lives for years, and they no longer fit the description of what you need. They were not intended for lifelong or longevity, just a very small portion of what you needed out of life. So, friends, how many of us have them? You may have a friend, but is it really your friend? Like, are you still supposed to remain connected to them?
Interesting. I like it. You just gave us our synopsis for the night.
I'm just thinking.
So for me, it's interesting, right? So I grew up, I don't want to say a small town because Suffolk is small, but it's really not that small. And it's almost every day. People joke me all the time, Akeem, you always posting people's birthdays. You're always acknowledging people, because I grew up with, from the time I was in kindergarten to fourth grade, I went to one elementary school. Fourth and fifth grade, I went to another elementary school. But then middle school and high school, we all transitioned together. So some of the people I played little league sports with, little league football, went to middle school, high school, we are still friends to this day because we've been lifelong friends. Even if we don't talk every day, we have that connection because we grew up together, right?
Right.
I have childhood best friends, and my male best friend and I, Derek, we've been best friends since the sixth grade. Our parents still live down the street from each other. So there are times when I'm visiting my parents, I'll go by and stop by and see his dad. I call his dad uncle. And me and my male best friend, I mean, just by virtue of his personality, we may talk on major occasions, birthdays, Christmas, accomplishments. We do more talking on social media than we do, in contact. But he's my brother, right? And then my closest female best friend lives overseas, and so out of the country rather. And so we talk. We talk more than obviously my male best friend. But then I have ministry friends that I've met in ministry that we talk by virtue of, we're pastors. We made a covenant to connect. And then I just have friends. I believe the Bible is true that in order to have friends, you must first show yourself friendly. And I brag on this. I may do a lot of stuff wrong, but I am a relational person. I think that you are not made to go through this life by yourself. I agree with you. Some friends are seasonal, but there are people you may come together for an assignment, right? You may be work friends that spill into other areas. But I just believe, I am nervous, particularly when it comes, you said about women, right? When a woman says, I don't have no friends or anything like that, I get nervous because I'm like, hey, if you don't have no friends, like, what does that say about you?
So I think that's concerning to me too. So let me say this. And we're going to have our male and female best, like he's gonna bring his female best friend on it. I'm gonna bring my male, and we're gonna talk about platonic friendships. But I think we miss I want to go back to the relational part, because we miss that relational component in friendships. I would dare to say that from the time you're maybe 10 till about 16, most people transition in and out of friendships.
Yes, because we don't know ourselves. We meet people. Everybody's our best friend at 10.
Yes.
My daughter has I'm like, how everybody, like, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. And I get it because I've been there, right? And then as you go, but again, we both are in the same age bracket where you fight and make up and fight each other and make up, fight each other, make up, spend the night in each other's houses. I don't even know if kids do that now.
Mine don't want to know about the house. Now they come over here, but you're not going over there.
I mean, I could not imagine my life without friends, and I have friends in different sectors. I appreciate my friends that are in ministry, but I also appreciate friends that I can go hang out with and they respect the fact that I'm a pastor, but I can let my hair down and they still show up to preach, right? I mean, when I preach or do ministry, right? I think friendships should keep us honest. So Dr. Brianna Parker is one of my closest friends. We met through a mutual friend years ago that neither one of us are still in relationship with. And we're the best of friends. See, I don't do that whole Sharice is mad at Ray, and so I gotta stop being friends with Ray. That's me. Now, if I am a friend to you and I'm a friend to Ray and you and Ray are beefing, what I say to you, I'm gonna say, Sharice, you were wrong or right, whatever. Ray, you were wrong or right. And Sharice, you can't talk to me about Ray. Ray, you can't talk to me about Sharice. Or because we're human, I'm gonna let you express yourself.
You
I'm
know,
saying, okay,
boundary.
all right, you're going too far. Likewise, but this whole you can't be friends with somebody who I don't like. Well, it depends on why you don't like them. I think we sometimes act as children and adults.
So I guess my question is, Sequoia is on and she says, I have trust issues. So I put my friends in their prospective places. I don't know what that means. So Sequoia, like if you're still on, elaborate.
I can assume what she's saying. My friend, Dr. Melvin Cotton says,
okay,
you've got to know those people for who they are. So if I'm just using you for an example. If I know, because here's the thing. Everybody has somebody else that they trust, and it may not be the same person, right? So I may trust you, but you may trust Sequoia. But there should never be a reason or a time where I tell you something, and then I see Sequoia, and Sequoia repeats to me what I've shared with you. But if I know that about you, I gotta manage. Sharice is my friend, but I know when I'm having conversations, I can't say nothing to her that I don't want repeated. Doesn't make you less of a friend.
Right.
It just means I gotta know those who labor among me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to give a quick story. So my daughter has a best friend. She's been friends with her for years, since kindergarten. And Madison is a church kid.
Yep.
All her life, she's grown up in church. She was in the womb. She was in uterine in church, in the womb in church, been in church all her life. Now, the problem that she's running into with her best friend, because I teach my daughter about friendship. I'm a parent that teaches friendship. Most parents don't teach that. They just tell their kids if they don't like it, screw them, move on, friends come a dime a dozen. I don't teach my child that. I try to teach her conflict resolution, to see the bigger picture, let's talk it out. So needless to say, Madison hasn't transitioned in and out of friendships. She hasn't done that. She's had one best friend, maybe two. So this one best friend, because Madison loves the Lord, this best friend is not a churchgoer, and has openly said she doesn't believe what my daughter believes. Now Madison still remains her friend, but we had a conversation and she said, Mom, the friendship is changing. She said, because her spirit doesn't fit my spirit anymore. We're growing apart. These are her words verbatim. Now I'm trying to figure out, what do you mean about spirit? So she said, the connection is different because we're not talking the same.
I get it at her age, but at our age, I have friends that are not Christians. Because the basis
have any non-Christian friends. I've met all my friends in church.
Then I think your friendships are very shallow. If you're, here's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's
what I mean by that in context.
Okay.
Is that my childhood friends, the basis of our friendship was not that we were Christians. Jesus, and I'm not trying to be overly deep, Jesus was criticized because he hung around people that were not saved, were not believers. And the people couldn't believe it. They said he hang around the drunkards and the whoremongers and stuff like that. I am saying that who are we really impacting if I believe that lifestyle with loving kindness have I drawn thee? So hear this. If your daughter, and I know she's a child, so I'm using that scenario for daughter.
Right.
She didn't meet her best friend in church.
She did not. She met her best friend in kindergarten at her school.
So that was not the basis of their friendship, was not whether or not they were. Now, here's where friendships differ. If you try to, it's nothing wrong with her best friend. Let's say if her best friend was an atheist, right? Saying, I don't believe what you believe. And Madison is saying, well, I'm a Christian, I don't believe what you believe. Then the question is, what do we agree on? See, the problem I have with Christians is we only talk about what we don't like and what we don't stand for. But what about, can we be friends on what we agree on? So if I was an atheist and you were a believer, then the question is, hey, we don't talk about religion in our friendship. It depends on what the base is. I think that what is the common denominator that drew us together as friends?
That's good.
In my estimation, and I could be wrong. I'm saying let's deal with what it is that we do agree and we build upon that. Because one day I might win you over.
Or they could win you over.
No, because I'm strong enough in my faith. Now,
so are you okay? So this could go both ways, because then are you then insinuating that they're not strong enough in what they believe, that there is no God?
No, what I'm saying is it is my job as a Christian to stand on what I believe in, and I'm going to share with you what I believe. But I'm also not going to be disrespectful, and I'm not going to let you disrespect what I believe. So if it comes to that point, excuse me, then we may need to part ways. But as long as we can respect one another, why can't we be friends?
Wow. That's good. That's good. I think, go ahead.
It's simple. Let's take it from religion.
Okay,
you can smoke. Let's say if I smoke weed, right? You're not my friend.
From the earth. Weed is from the earth.
I'm saying regardless of what you think about, right or wrong. But you're a pharmacist. You get tested.
Right.
I can't get in your car. If I'm your friend, I am not saying, oh, Sharice always acting funny. I can't smoke around her. No, your job is on the line. You get a pop-up test and get tested, and because you've been around it, if I'm your friend, Paul says, if eating meat offends your brother, don't do it. Now, here's the difference.
That's good.
If you come to my house and you know that I smoke weed, that I'm in my own house, you're coming to my house knowing that you can't expect me to not do something in my own house. But if I'm in your car, if I'm coming to your house, you have the right to say, this is the boundary in which I set. And if we're friends, I respect it.
Right.
But I can't be friends with you if you don't respect my boundaries.
Boundaries and friendships.
Yeah.
So there was a time in my friendships I did not have boundaries.
I got it.
Very territorial, very needy, and did not respect the no, the end.
Okay.
So we've been talking about boundaries for a while. Like most of the conversations are wrapped around boundaries. So let's talk about those boundaries in friendships. And I guess we'll hit more on it too when we bring on our platonic friends to talk about the boundaries and, you know, how we've established those boundaries. And even with them, if they're in relationships or married, having those boundaries. But just right now, boundaries in friendships can be very tricky because if you're not careful establishing, here's the danger. Having friendships that have been having long-standing friendships and then after years of allowing lines to be crossed, now putting a line in the sand and says, hey, you can't cross anymore. And how that dynamic, that shift in the dynamic affects the friendship. Because I've now said, hey, this is a boundary. I'm not willing to do this anymore. And that adjustment, I think, is that fair?
Yeah, we grown. I may not like it, but it's a boundary. Is if you're saying, Akeem, listen, I can only hang out to this time because I got to be at work or I'm in school. I need my rest. I'm a night owl, right? We know that. Hey, don't call me after 11 o'clock unless it's an emergency.
Right.
I can make all kind of speculation. Oh, Sharice must have got a man now because we didn't talk to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. At the end of the day, I may not like it, but I got to respect it. And the moment I cannot respect or refuse to respect your boundaries, then I no longer honor the friendship. We're adults. We go through seasonal changes. We go through changes, and part of it, but here's the flip side. We do not communicate in friendships what we need.
We don't. We have a lot of unspoken expectations, but I would dare to say that's just not friendships. That's in relationships.
Right, but I'm saying we do a better job at it in relationships than we do friendships.
Wow. Do you think so?
Yeah, because if you meet a guy, you're not going to have a problem telling somebody that you're in a romantic relationship with what you like and don't like. Most of the cases in friendships, we just gonna let it. Just gonna let it be.
Well, that's just them. Yes.
Yeah. No. You got to address it.
So me and my best friend, when you're talking about boundaries, he and I had a conversation. I want to say it was the end of 2019 going into 2020.
Yep.
She and I sat down. We had a serious conversation because our relationship is like really unique. It started out with me and her sister being really good friends. And then there was a shift in the friendship. So me and Chantel became, our souls were very kindred. So we became best friends through that relationship with her sister. And there were a lot of things, a lot of unspoken expectations and a lot of boundaries crossed in the beginning of our friendship because it was out of need. I needed something from her. She needed something from me. So we were meeting each other's needs. But we were also crossing boundaries and enemies necessary to have our individual need met, not concerned about the other person and what they were going through. So we started bumping heads. Our friendship then took a turn where we took like a year and a half off from being each other's friend. It was like, it was me. I don't want to be your friend anymore. Like just flat out right told her, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Then there was a period of reconciliation. And we were fine, but we went back into the friendship again without defining expectations. We just kind of picked up, right? And then 2019, there were multiple things started to happen that were very similar to what was happening when we first became friends. And so we sat down and had a conversation. We were at BJ's, y'all, bawling, crying, because we had not only were we placing unspoken expectations on each other, we were putting expectations on ourselves about what we thought that we had an idea of what they thought they want, what I had an idea of what I thought she wanted. So I'm trying to operate out of that expectation I put on myself, and then not meeting her unspoken expectations. So once we were able to establish that expectation, like there are certain things we're not looking for. Mm-hmm. There's a respect level, there's a boundary, there's that line in the sand, and then there's choice. Because when you put an unspoken expectation on someone, you kind of take away their choice to say yes or say no. And so you have an idea of what you think that person should do, should say, should be like, and it's just not fair. And I do this all the time. I have unspoken expectations. I will not voice them. And when stuff hit the fan, I just kind of shut down, and I'll say, well, you should have known, or it's just not fair. I do it often, but I'm a shut downer. Like, I shut down and don't talk about my expectations.
Yeah, I used to be the same way. I think my best friend and I went a few months. It might have been, no, I don't think it was 6 months. I couldn't imagine going through life without that, but it forced to have a conversation. And that goes to show we do not do well with expectation without communication leads to a destroyed relationship. Because I don't know what you expect. And how can I meet it if I don't know? You know what I'm saying? Like, because what if my other friends don't require that, right? Or I've never had nobody hold me accountable,
And that's major. Accountability in friendships is like, if you're in a friendship, guys, girls, and you're not humble enough to accept feedback, or the people who you're in relation with are yes people, you got to rethink those relationships.
Absolutely.
But I want to go back to a comment Dr. Walker made earlier about my friendships being shallow.
Not your friendship,
my pool of friendships being shallow because of church. Again,
that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Because I have church friends. Y'all, we about to get into a little discussion.
I said because you said because you can't be friends with somebody outside of church that don't believe. I don't think that's.
I didn't say that.
You said all of your friends were friends you met in church. So you didn't meet any friends when you went to college. You don't have any professional pharmacist friends that are not Christian?
I do.
Okay.
Friends, not best friends.
Nobody said best friends. We were talking about friends. You didn't change the whole topic.
So let's shift. Let's talk about that. Because when I think of friends, I have a lot of people I talk to. But my friends are like how who used to have this? Your favorite five, T-Mobile, your five fave or fave five, whatever. Mm-hmm. That's when I say friends, my core. I don't associate people outside of my core as friends. I stopped using that term so loosely. It's just this is people that I work with, somebody that I know, or somebody, that doesn't mean that we're friends.
I think society has done a danger with you can't be friends with blah, blah, or,
That is true.
So Jesus had all these disciples. Then he had 12. Then out of the 12, there was 6. And then he had 3 that he rocked with often, right? Yeah. I am saying you can have friends and friendship has levels.
That's
I
good.
have
I've
pastors.
never heard that friendship had levels.
I got clergy friends that I've met at a conference that we talk, we stay connected. We may talk once a month, once a quarter. Hey, I'm just checking on you, how things going. But I got friends and if I don't talk to that person, or they may cross my mind and I send a text, but then I got friends that I talk to every week, every other week, whatever, that they are on a constant, they're in my fave 5 or 10, however that is, right? But just because people that I went to high school with, I would still consider them a friend. We've not had a reason to not be friends. We just, life has taken so much so that even now we have people on social media that if you like something, it could be whatever, they consider themselves to be in relationship with you, right?
Right.
Church friends, work friends. What I am saying, that we shouldn't let society dictate what friendship is and is not.
Right.
I mean, our childhood was based on friendship. A Different World, Family Matters with Steve Urkel.
That's good. Yes.
A Full House, Sesame Street,
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. But now society, everything is about drama in friendships. Real Housewives of this.
And
it's all about, we don't know anything about community anymore. And so we have allowed that to really rob us of the innocence of being in relationship with one another. I do not apologize for calling somebody friend.
That's good.
I don't apologize for having a lot of friends. And people think it's crazy. I'm just a people person.
So you would be someone that people would say you meet no strangers.
There's not a city that I go to that I don't know somebody close by.
Wow. We can't be mad when our friends are out with their other friends. That's true. That's a great comment. So Bobby Haynes Jr.
Bobby Haynes. Yeah, but what's up, Bob? Yeah, so
we roll in different cities and can still be friends. We can't be mad when our friends are out with their other friends.
Yes. So if you and I are friends, Sharice, and now here's where it gets a little sticky, because we don't have conversations about levels of friendships. So
I'm going to talk about levels of friendships.
If you and I are friends, right, and you have made me believe that I am in your close circle, you made me believe, and then you have a party or you go on vacation, I might be like, ooh, dang, why I ain't get invited?
Right.
Because you make me believe. But if I understand that we're just friends and you have another circle of friends, I'm not jealous when you go on vacation, or I'm only jealous if I have been made to believe that I'm entitled to be. But as adults, we all, like Bobby said, we have different circles of friends.
And I do. And that's the crazy part. Like, I have my core, and then I just have a group of people where I'm just like, okay, this person is this, or this person is that. I don't know. So I think we have similar types of relationships. You just use the word friend. I would say, hey, this is just someone that I work with. Oh, this is so and so, or whatever. I would introduce them as who they are, what they are, and who they are. But I wouldn't necessarily use the word friend. And I think, I don't know. I think each person is different, right? But I don't know why this is probably why you talk to Tasha about that. I don't know why I wouldn't say that's not, that's my friend. Oh, this is my coworker, Tiffany.
Did you grow up having friends?
I did, but we moved around a lot.
So then that explains it. I grew up in a neighborhood where most of my childhood friends, their parents still live in my neighborhood.
Same neighborhood.
I see now, because people have moved out differently, other spaces. I still see, I'm talking about childhood and school age friends. When I see their parents, I still, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Like, So I posted on my Insta story today. My friend Crystal, whose birthday is today,
Mm-hmm.
we have been friends since daycare. Daycare. And we're 36 years, like, and we don't talk all the time, but we're friends. Like when she comes home for holidays, she lives in DC, the DC area, you know, my best friend who lives in Singapore, her mom pops up at church on Sunday. So on Mother's Day, because I know my best friend lives in Singapore, I gave her mom roses.
Right.
You know, but my best friend ain't gonna want to go on vacation with my pastor friends.
No.
And she ain't gonna get upset if I go out on, now what she might say is, okay, now you spend time with your pastor friends and you ain't been to see your best friend. That's fair.
Right.
But it is no animosity.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Jason, who's a business owner, watch this, don't go to church on a regular basis, but we're so much friends. I married him and his wife. I left from graduating when I got my master's to fly like up the road to go to make it to his wedding. We've worked together. We live two different lives, but if he needs something, I'm gonna pray with him. When I preach in Maryland, he's gonna come to church. And the thing is, hey, we can go hang out and catch up, but I got church in the morning.
Right.
And you better come, right? Like, but that's how friendships are. If you have a business, I should support your business. One, because you're my friend, but two, because your product is good. Now let's talk about that.
Oh,
let's talk about support. If my best friend or just friends, if my friend has a business, I am my Dr. Bree is more like a sister to me. She says, Akeem, you're gonna always. If I'm doing something, before I go to a big mom and pop shop, I am going to. Do I have a friend or somebody that I know that can offer this service? I'm not going to ask my friend for a discount. I may say, look, what's your regular price? Can you give me the homie discount? But I'm not going to lowball my friend because it's their business.
Right.
But I'm supporting my friend because they're my friend, but also because their product is good. Now, if your product is trash, you can't expect me just because I'm your friend to support you.
Wow.
You know, particularly when it comes to friends. I'm a pastor. I'm going to preach my friends. Right?
Right.
But I'm not going to invite you to preach just because you're my friend and I feel like, one, your voice doesn't fit my context. But I am going to find out which one of my friends can fit the context in which I'm looking for.
Right. And so here's another part about that boundary, right?
Yes.
So when you talk about support, and it's boundary and expectation. We have an automatic expectation that because you are my friend, you should support me. So, for instance, my best friend Thomas is a caterer. Well, he's a chef, but he travels, he does all this catering. And so if our friendship was solely based on whether I supported him or not, we probably would not be friends. Here's why. I'm not on social media like that on Facebook, and he markets on Facebook. So if I'm not on Facebook and I don't see the market to like it or share it, even when he tags me in it, if it was based on that, he could say, you don't support. But that's not an expectation that he sets. He understands that I'm a very inconsistent social media person. So he doesn't take offense to that. But people who doesn't understand the dynamic of the person that they're dealing with will set an expectation expecting that support. Now, I'm not saying that I do not support him. Everything he cooked, I get.
But you don't have to be on, if you're not on social media, he knows it as your friend, but you can support him in other ways. Hey, if we're having a company party,
right?
I know somebody. If the church is looking for somebody, if you're in conversation, or you're looking for somebody to cater, I know somebody. It's simple.
But you will be amazed at how many people will say, you don't like my post, you don't share my post, so that means we're not friends. That means you don't support me.
If you are a social media person, I think that's absolutely right. But if you
off of social media,
listen to what I'm saying. I said if you are a social media person.
Even if I'm on social media all day, I'm on social media all day, and you post something, if I don't like it and share it, and we're friends, I'm not supporting you.
You would have to not like and share anything. But why
would social media dictate that?
It's not about dictating. It is about right now. Social media is the way the world communicates. It is more people spend more money on social media advertisement than anything else.
Okay.
So if, for instance, if you're my friend and I make inspirational posts, right?
Okay.
And you never like it or share it, but you always liking, I'm gonna pick on Jamal Bryant as my big brother. You always liking Jamal stuff or TD Jake stuff. I take issue with that. If TD Jakes or whoever else will come to town and you'll pay to go hear them, but I come to Jacksonville and you don't come hear me preach, I'm taking issue with that. Absolutely.
Now that's different. I'm talking about social media.
So if I can go to a Ruth Chris and talk about, man, I got this steak. This is just the best crab cake, best steak I've had.
Okay.
But my friend, in your case, Thomas, is a chef, and I can't do the same for him. He should take issue with that. Because Ruth Chris is going to get customers whether you post or not. One post from you, if you got 3,000 people on your Facebook, could change his business.
Well, let me just say, I understand that, but I'm not, I guess I can't wrap. If social media never existed, how then would you expect for me to?
But we can't do that. Social media exists.
True. We can't. But I just don't, I still don't get how, and this is just me. This is me.
So let me ask you a question. You have Besties Tell All was a series, right?
Correct. Still is a series.
Still is a series.
Right.
If you have a female friend that's always reposting stuff, drama that's on Real Housewives of Atlanta or whatever, I don't even know if that's a show, but Real Housewives of Atlanta, and they never post your stuff or repost, think about this. It costs you nothing because support, Arian just said, support comes in different forms, which it does. So let's just say, prime example, my homeboy Jason at one time was selling this product that was it was clean pet, like if your pet urinated on the carpet or something like that, it would clean it. I don't own pets, right? But he needed a certain amount of sales to get him where he needed to be. It was like $30. I said, hey man, I don't have no pets, but you my boy. $30? I would spend the same amount of money if we went out to eat or got some drinks, right? So I bought the product. Here's what I did. I know a pastor friend of mine, a bishop, who has what kind of bull mastiffs, huge dogs in his house. I bought the product, gave it to my pastor friend, like, hey, try this. I paid for it. I can't use it. If you like it, my homeboy sells it. He ended up ordering that. Then it cost me $30 to put my boy on. It's a post. If you have pets and you blah, 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 hit this person up. That ain't take nothing but 30 seconds out of my day. Why? There's no way you're my friend and you're not doing that.
So yes, Bobby, we are saying that if you don't share content, we aren't friends. So that's what I'm trying to understand.
That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. That's not.
So that's what I mean. So does it mean that?
I'm not gonna share your stuff every day. Come on, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Every day, because it may not speak to me, right? It don't mean it's bad. Right. But I'm saying, you said if you don't ever share his stuff, it's no way your friend is a chef and you don't ever post. If he's saying, I'm just gonna use everybody's in meal prepping now, right? Meal prepping, right?
Okay.
You work out, you exercise, you've lost amazing weight.
Okay.
If your friend, and Thomas is your best friend, says, I'm running a special on meal prep, why would you not repost that?
Okay.
Even if you don't do it, why would you not support him again if the product is good? That's all I'm saying. It's funny business to me.
Now, for the record, I've always reposted all of my friends' stuff. So the ones they're on here, so they're probably like laughing. But this happens. This is real. Me and Bishop, we did a series about mental health, and a part of it was social media.
Yes.
And how the expectation through social media has caused mental health challenges. Now, I'm going somewhere with this because, and outside of that, included in that, we talked about the expectations that people get through social media.
Yes.
This is an expectation that happens in friendships that's oftentimes not talked about. Prime example, when my best friend co-authored a book, she posted it, and I posted it more than she did in a week to get people to buy her book. Now, why am I saying that? Because to Akeem's point, that is true. If the product is good, it costs you nothing to share what someone else is doing. So then the question becomes, if you never share anything, what does that mean? Does it mean you don't believe in the product or what they're doing?
If you're not a posting person, I don't have no argument. But if I see you posting Keisha KOST and I sell something and you don't post it, I'm taking issue with it. Now, here's the other part. Arian just said something. I don't feel like you have to like the product. I don't have to like it, but I have to at least believe it's a good product, because if I am putting it on my timeline and I'm using my influence, I even if I don't agree with it, I have to feel like it's a decent product.
So y'all, if you're just joining, we've been talking about friendships. We've kind of hit on a multitude of topics, because over the next month we're going to be talking about friendships and relationships. And so we're bringing on some guests. We're bringing on my male best friend, his female best friend, and hopefully a specialist or a counselor to come in and help us talk about, friendships and its significance. And we're talking about social media, the expectation in friendships as it relates to social media, liking, sharing, retweeting, posting something, or supporting your friend. So we're talking about support, and then we just kind of fell into this social media slump, because while I get it, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate, because I do support my friends. Hey, Angel is someone, she does paparazzi. And I've supported her. I've shared, I've purchased, all those things. But even if I post on social media all day and I never like or share your post, I don't understand how that's funny business for me. Although I do participate in it, I don't understand the funny. It's an expectation that we have for you to do it. Now, let's do this. What if they support outside of posting on social media, liking and share? Like, they never post they never repost, they never like, but it's obvious that they support.
I am saying, I don't want to stay on this too long. I am saying, you said Angel does paparazzi, right?
Correct.
I'm fine with that if you never post anything about where you get stuff from. But the day you go to a high-end jewelry store and post, I just got this nice David Yurman necklace,
My favorite. That's amazing you said that.
That start at low end for.
They start about $425.
$425, right? Paparazzi jewelry is $20, $30, $40.
It's $5 a piece.
Okay.
And if you need it, you can contact Angel Joe.
So $5. You just spent $425, right? Which means you could have bought multiple times her jewelry. I am saying if you don't post nothing about David Yurman or whatever, and you purchase her stuff, that's fine. But if you get on social media and say, man, I just caught this nice David Yurman necklace on sale, you're promoting somebody that you don't get a benefit from, but you're not supporting your friend who could use the $420. Even if she's doing it part-time, what is the harm? That's all I'm saying.
So, guys, we see different comments and people are chiming in. The social media thing and the support is it's big because as a leader, I have counseled many young adults and social media has come up,
That's so let me ask you a question. As much as we talk, if I got a new job and I didn't tell you, would you feel some type of way? And I made a social media post?
I would.
Then you answered your own question.
But we talk.
And if we talk and I don't tell you, and I made a social media post first, you would feel some type of way.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Because relationship says in friendships, that the level of our friendship says that you are privy to certain information before the public.
Now I agree with that. Now, but I think that's a different thing versus support. But Bobby said something, and then Jamie piggybacked. Jamie said, "I get the most support from strangers."
Because we have this slave mentality that, so we have this thing of, I don't mind my friend being blessed as long as they're not more blessed than I am. So it's interesting. There's this new Black-owned steakhouse in Virginia Beach. In Norfolk, that's owned by 2 Black men, right? Food is absolutely amazing. I'm not going to give their names because they're not friends of mine and they're not paying me for advertisement, right? But I was with some people the other day and they were saying, oh man, I went there and I said, how was the food? The food was good, but you don't get a lot of food and the prices are high. I said, dang. That's interesting. Have you ever been to such and such restaurant? This restaurant is a white-owned establishment, high-end, around the corner. They was like, yeah, the food is amazing. I said, the prices are the same. You get the same amount of food. As a matter of fact, when I tried to go to this particular restaurant, the white establishment, one particular night, what amazed me is that they said, we're booked. You should try the restaurant around the corner from us. No relation, no same owners. They recommended the other restaurant, but people who knew the owner were saying he shouldn't charge. Well, he's in business. So it's like, I don't mind paying a stranger full price, no discount, but I want my friends to always hook me up. That's not right. Business is business. So
Miss Mildred says, sounds like we're big on loyalty and commitment. I think that's what it is, because you have Angel Joe who says that she doesn't define her friendships based on who supports and who doesn't. I think it's different for each person, right? And so again, y'all, we're going to be talking about friendships the whole month of June. So tune in. We don't do friendships well.
We don't. And particularly when it comes to business, right? I don't define, again, friendships based on support, because that is not the basis of
right.
friendship. Case in point, when my sister, my blood sister, who is also, I am so grateful that I am able to have a sister and a best friend in one person.
Right.
Me and my sister are 6 years apart, but that is my road dog. When she got married, I'm a pastor. She was my first church member when I used to make her listen to me preach, right? I would have been okay being in my sister's wedding as a brother. Her pastor at the time is a friend of mine. I said to her, I wouldn't mind if your pastor married y'all, right? My sister asked me, and my sister and my brother-in-law asked me to do the wedding, but I wouldn't have felt any type of way for doing it. Now, here's how you honor a relationship. My sister asked, and my brother-in-law asked me, what is your fee? Now, if I'm going to my sister's wedding anyway, and I was going to be in it for free, why would I charge my sister? That don't even make sense, right? I'm saying you have to give honor. So the relationship is not built on support, but support should come because we're in relationship.
Gotcha.
So if you were a COVID pharmacist, right? I'm having a workshop at my church. If I was going to pay a white or somebody that I didn't know $1,000 to do a workshop on the effects of COVID in the Black community, Dr. Fauci don't need $1,000 more. He's already rich. Most people would pay him that $1,000 with no problem. Okay. I take issue. Sharice is my friend, so she should come for free. $1,000 could help Sharice out more than Dr. Fauci. I'm just saying we got to honor one another.
Yes.
But Jesus is right. Most of us are without honor in our own homes from strangers that don't know us, because the strangers come because of the product, not out of relationship.
Wow. That's good. Listen, guys, these comments are you guys are going in the comments. We have some engagement. Let's see. Angel Joe, real quick, we have 2 minutes. Consider this. When the Starbucks CEO launched their business, they did not enter with the mindset that it wouldn't work if they didn't have the support of friends and family. You have to be okay with knowing support comes from all different places. It's business. Jamie says, I don't think support is the basis of friendship, but it does tell a lot. In my opinion, whether it's just starting up, well established, etc. Why not support? Not supporting does not help them, but supporting them could do wonders.
I love it. I was at a party on Sunday, an all-white party. One of my friends and sisters graduated with her master's degree from George Washington University. I'm at the white party, and one of my friends I used to work with years ago says, Akeem, where's your church? How far is your church from here? I said, an hour and a half. We both laughed. She said, oh, I can't drive. We can't drive that far. I said, I don't blame you, right? I say the same thing myself when I drive. She said, but whenever you're on this side in Tidewater preaching, let me know because I would love to come. That don't take nothing. I am saying, again, that we're not friends because I support you, but if we are friends, I should support you in whatever way I can.
Gotcha.
That's all I'm saying.
So, guys, we're going to talk again all June. We're talking friendships, platonic friendships. We need to do something on support again because you guys are engaged about this support, especially social media. I think support is an expectation, and oftentimes it is unspoken. And when it doesn't happen, it causes some tension in friendships. And because it's an expectation, we have an idea of what the support should look like. And that's not fair. So we got to dig into that too, your idea of what the support should look like, because it comes in many different ways. But we got to wrap up.
Come on, we got 5 more minutes, man.
We got Ray gonna kill us because he need us to do it in an hour.
Okay.
So listen, join us again next week, 9:30. We're going in talking about friendship. Until then, this has been NightCap. Good night.
Good night. Love on your friends.
All of them.